Why play Shen top? Well, his ultimate is incredible and makes for amazing plays. He hard counters champions that rely on auto attacks. He has very good base damage, and all his abilities are just really good with dashes, shields, and damage. However, he can get kited if he misses his E, and you are reliant on having a good carry to ult. Shen's passive is that every time he uses an ability, he gains a pretty decent shield. Also, if you affect an enemy with one of your abilities, it greatly lowers the cooldown on the shield. In addition, Shen has a passive Spirit Blade nearby, which he uses for some abilities. Shen's Q calls his Spirit Blade to him. If this passes through an enemy, they will be slowed if moving away from Shen. But the main thing is that after using Q, Shen's next 3 attacks deal a chunk of extra damage. But if the blade passes through the enemy first, he does even more damage and gets attack speed for those 3 attacks. And these 3 attacks do a ton of damage. Shen's W creates a zone on his Spirit Blade which stops all auto attacks against allies in the area. If you or an ally isn't in the zone when it starts, you have 2 seconds to enter the zone for it to start the effect. Shen's E has a passive where if you land E or damage someone with your Q, you regain energy. The active is a good sized dash which taunts all enemies hit. Shen's ultimate is a global ability where he chooses an ally and gives them a shield. This shield gets larger the lower health your ally has, allowing for huge saves. After 3 seconds of channeling, Shen will then teleport to his ally. Shen's basic combo is to dash through the target and activate Q, dragging it through the target as well. Then you get your 3 empowered auto attacks off using W if needed. For Masteries, go this. It keeps you tanky and dealing damage. For build order, start Shield and Pot before getting Tier 2 Boots, Frozen Fist, and Titanic Hydra. Follow this up by getting tanky items depending on who you're up against. Or if you want more damage, a Wit's End is a great pickup. For skill order, start Q, then E, then W, before maxing Q, then E, then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoners, Flash and Ignite is incredibly good and gives you great kill pressure in lane. Otherwise, Teleport is just very good. Starting the laning phase, your first few levels are very strong. When you hit level 2, if you can taunt through them, hit them with Q, and then get all 3 charges off, they will be in serious danger, and your shield keeps you healthy on the trade. Your Q is on a very low cooldown, so don't be afraid to call it in to get the shield and go for a quick couple of auto attacks, as it is great harass and the shield keeps you safe. However, the most important thing is to keep yourself safe, so focus on farming and feel free to use your Q to help last hitting and keep scaling. When you hit level 6, keep an eye on your team's health and position. It is incredibly satisfying and wins games to turn a 2v2 that your team's going to lose in the bot lane into a double kill for your ADC because of your huge shield and presence. In the mid game, I will always argue that Shen is one of the best split pushers in the game. Not because he pushes quickly or outduels other split pushers, but because he's still basically grouped with your team while split pushing. Make sure to push the lane away from the objective. So if your team's looking to Dragon, push top, and if they're looking to Baron, push bot. This will give you a large amount of map pressure which forces your opponent to choose one of 2 bad situations. If they come to challenge Shen, he can just ultimate over to his team, making that fight a 5v4 in your favour, or they can ignore the Shen and group as a 5 towards your group of 4. This gives you a large amount of pressure and allows you to push and take towers. And then if a fight does start, you just ult in, showing that it was a 5v5 all along. In lower elos especially, teams cannot deal with this. Entering into the late game, you want to keep a very similar playstyle to this. Once you're in the team fight, just make sure to keep all your carries alive, taunting anything away and using your W to keep them safe.